I'll be showing you how to create a 3D environment like this while also messing around with the lights so you can have some cool effects like this. To mess around with 3D lighting, we first need to make our setup. So this will technically be two tutorials in one, especially if you don't know the in and outs of the 3D space in Fusion. So what I'm going to do first is just freeze frame my video here just so I can have a picture of me just sitting down. And then I'm heading to Fusion. Disclaimer, everything in this video you'll be able to do in the free version of DaVinci Resolve. The only thing you won't be able to do is the magic mask. This is just so I can mask up my object and it's just easier for me. You can use a polygon, or if you already have a transparent image, it all works the same. So I'm going to use magic mask to mask my object here. And all I'm going to do is just do this. And then you're going to bring down a merge node here and put it onto the timeline. Now, if you want to change how your image looks like, all you need to do is add a background node and put it into the merge one. And then with the background node, since for me, I'm just going to change it to white. And then in the merge and the operator part, you're going to change this to N. So now that converts your image into like a white silhouette type thing. And then you're going to add a image plane 3D. Here, you're going to just connect it into the timeline here. And as you can see, it's not connected to the output because we still haven't worked on our 3D space. So to make our 3D space, all you need to do is unclip this from the output and put this to the side. And then you just move your image plane just to make some room. And you're going to bring down a 3D camera, a 3D merge, and a 3D render. And you're going to put everything together just like this. So image planes go into the merge 3D. And then the camera 3D goes into the merge 3D. And then the merge 3D goes into the render 3D. And then finally, the render 3D goes into the output. So here on the camera 3D, you're going to press 1. And then what you're going to do is bring it all the way back, just so you can fit in your image onto the screen for the output. And before we go on with the video, just so your PC or laptop doesn't crash, here on the bar, you're going to right click and undo high quality and motion blur. Now you're going to want to add your environment. You're going to add a shape 3D and add that to the merge 3D. In the shape 3D, you're going to press 1 so you can see what's happening on the screen. You can move around with shift right click, or it just depends on what you have it made. Just check your settings. Since I don't want a plane, I'm going to change this to a cube. And then with the cube, I'm going to uncheck this box right here. And then with the width, I'm going to right click and go all the way down to expression. This will allow me to connect the width and the height or depth. I'm going to do this with the depth, so when I change the size, nothing like really messes up. So with the depth, I'm going to bring it all the way down so I can have like long like rectangle. But actually, I'm going to make it slightly bigger. And then in the transform, I'm going to bring it down so it can like match the screen a little bit. Obviously, you can't see nothing right now because everything just looks flat. There's no light in the scene yet. Now, so we can see what's happening later in the video, I'm going to animate my camera. This is nothing difficult. All you need to do is go to the first frame, go to transform, and then just check all the frames right here just in case you want to move it later on. And then you're going to go all the way to the last frame, and then just move what you want to move. Just to make your life a little bit easier, you're going to check this mark where it says target. Pretty much this, the camera will focus on the object that you want to focus. So I'm going to go slightly up, and then maybe just move around the X a little bit so I can rotate. And I think that should be it. And as you can see, you've animated your first scene in the 3D space of Fusion. And that's pretty much it for setting up a scene. Obviously, you can go more in depth with this and it can get more complicated, but we're just working with lights right now. So, in the render 3D, you're going to turn on the lighting and shadows. Obviously, it turns dark because there's no light in our scene. Now, there are 3 types of light in Fusion. So first one is ambient light. We also have directional light. And then we also have the spotlight, which is usually next to the 3D camera on the bar right here. Now, for the ambient light, when you put this into the merge, as you can see, it lights up everything in the scene. And when you move it around the actual space here, nothing really happens because the ambient light does, it just focuses on literally everything, no matter where it is. Now, the directional light is slightly different. When you add it to your scene, it focuses on one side of your actual environment. So to move this light around, you have to focus on the rotation. So let's say I wanted to move it more to the front, and it's in the front. If you want to move to the other side, it'll be on the back side of here. And when you try to move it anywhere on the map, it's kind of like the same as the ambient light. No matter where you have it, it won't change the direction it's facing. So make sure to keep that in mind when you're doing your projects. Now for the spotlight, this one acts more like a sun. So when you add it to your timeline, as you can see, nothing has happened yet. So if we go back to our merge, we can see where our spotlight is. So with the spotlight, what I like to do is pretty much the same thing as use target. So it focuses on my actual scene. And I'm gonna just move it all the way back. Right now it's at the top of my environment here. And then we move it to the side right here, just play around with it. It's gonna hit every single corner of my environment here. You can see that it creates a shadow, it makes the backside darker, and in the front, it hits all the sides of the front. So a little recap. The ambient light focuses on pretty much everything. Directional light hits one side of a scene, and in the spotlight, pretty much hits everything like a sun. Now with all these lights, you can do a lot of cool things with your project. One thing you could do is add 3D text. So here on the bar, the text is already there, so you can just add it to the scene and then place that into the merge 3D as well. I'm gonna just put something that might fit my scene right here. So I'm gonna put afraid. Obviously my text isn't 3D yet. It just looks flat compared to everything else right now. So to make this 3D, all I got to do is go to extrusion and then just put the depth slightly up. It creates a 3D version of the text. Now that we made our text 3D, we're gonna go to transform. Once again, do target, and then we're just gonna move it around based on where this is. So I kind of want to match this where the spotlight is coming from. So I'll move this over here. So I did a little moving off camera. As you can see, when I move it up and down here, the shadow of the text is reacting with my silhouette and environment here. It makes this cool effect of the shadow, of like a shadow just hitting the person. So obviously there's a lot of cool things you can do with light in DaVinci. So when you have a fully animated scene, it can look something like this. You can have the shadow hitting your silhouette and it also reacts with the environment. So you can implement this with your projects and it looks super cool. Also make sure if you want to keep the quality of the video, make sure to put the high quality and motion blur when you're done doing everything pretty much. And that's pretty much it when it comes to messing around with 3D lighting in DaVinci Resolve, and I guess also creating a 3D environment. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments below. Also make sure to like and subscribe, and till next time, so bye.